Great to see you. So I think the best way for people to understand it is to see it in action. And I think we have a video that shows how this works. Trust me, it's going to blow your mind. So we're not hearing anything, and that's the point. You're mouthing the words there, and it's being able to detect it. But it gets even crazier. So you're actually slightly mouthing these, but we can't even see it, and yet it's detecting it. How is this working?
Right. So I'm not even mouthing the words. It's detecting really, really subtle engagement of the tongue. So we wanted to build something that approaches asymptotically telepathy, but it's near telepathy. I think what's great about human thought is it's private. Speech isn't, but human thought is amorphous. Like you can't form a full email in while you're thinking, but speech is volitional. So we wanted to bake volition into the interface, and this enables a near telepathic interface with technology and with other people.
So some of the other folks out there, they're implanting stuff in you, they're actually reading your thoughts. This is not doing that. You're intending to speak the words, you're starting it, but you don't even have to verbalize it or even mouth the words.
That's true.
What gave you the idea? Where do you want to take this?
Yeah, I think if you look back at the history of computing, we've always looked at computers as external boxes. There's always been this weird dualism with technology. But I think in our company, the ethos is about human extension and augmentation. We want to design technology that weaves around and extends the human experience and human thought. And especially with AI, I saw your interview with Mark Benioff, where you were like taking shots of water while you were saying the word agent, and that's how we think about AI today. But if
it wasn't water.
Okay, all right, okay, well, and if we just flip that paradigm, if we just think about AI as an extension of the human mind, and if we sort of like physically interface it, I think that really brings the best of both worlds.
Well, let's talk about AI, because this could be a general computing interface to almost anything.
Right.
But in a couple of the demos you shared last week, the videos, you showed it as a gateway, as an interface to an AI system. And I think we have video. I think in this first one, we're seeing language translation. So if we can cue that up.
How's my Mandarin?
So now you're doing the same thing. You're thinking what you're going to say to him, but the AI is translating.
So Scott is internally and silently speaking in English, and it's translating to Hindi in his voice. So language is no longer a barrier. So you could have like a multilingual conversation.
And we're seeing the AI piece of this already. What you're bringing is the language interface, the non-language interface.
Right.
And then in another one, we're seeing it in a multimodal way. So in this next demo, oftentimes it's not just what I'm saying or not saying in your case, but it's what I'm seeing. So what's going on here?
That's Europa, who represents Europe shaking hands with America to celebrate the first transatlantic telegraph cable.
So for folks who don't know, he gestured what it was he wanted to ask about, didn't speak it, and got the answer back.
Right.
So this seems like the kind of thing we'd all want. I imagine there's some hurdles between where you are today and sort of all of us having one of these devices.
Yeah.
Talk about what you've accomplished, where you are, but what still needs to be done.
Yeah, so we announced this big breakthrough a couple of days ago, actually, which we call Silent Sense, which can, with really high sensitivity, capture the spectrum of speech. So mouthing the words, which is very easy to detect, but also the subtlest intent to speech. And we think there are a lot of applications across, across technology, like rehabilitating people who can't speak, who don't have a voice, like ALS patients, MS patients.
And that's probably where it'll start. Like, again, it could be a consumer thing, but usually you start smaller, it costs more, you get people who need it the most. So there are people with ALS or MS who have lost the ability to verbalize words, but can still deliver some of that intent, and through your technology could be heard.
Yeah, I think that's one of the most profound challenges of our time. Like, there is virtually no solution for these patients. Like, I've been to hospitals where the best equipped hospitals, you have caregivers sort of holding an alphabet board and going through each letter one at a time. So it is a huge problem. Millions of people suffer from it. And for a totally locked in patient, this probably wouldn't work. You would need an invasive solution, but a lot of patients do have really sparse signals in their speech system still. And something like this could really give them a real-time voice.
And how close is this? Like, you've got working prototypes.
Yeah.
Where are we at?
Right, so the stuff that you saw recently is a pre-production prototype. So this is not the final product. So we're working on the final product that's going to be much smaller. It's going to look much nicer. I can't promise you a date yet, but what I can say with high confidence is that this is not science fiction anymore. We're seeing it happening in real time, and I think this is going to come into the real world sooner than people realize.
And how big are you all? Because I know you're a company now, you're not part of MIT, but is this a tiny startup? Do you have a lot of people? Do you have corporate funding?
We are a full-fledged company that spun out of MIT. We have people working across hardware and AI, and we're recruiting. So.
All right. Well, good to know. I hope next year, we're going to be here in March. You think on March we could see it in action?
Try it out. We'll have a full telepathic conversation, Yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much.